A world of choice. And by JGP Janitorial. Lose the mop, they'll clean the slop. JGP Janitorial, 548-1221.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, Cayman. Welcome to the Business Buzz this morning. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. I hope everybody enjoyed a wonderful long weekend. I know I did, although I was tired the whole entire weekend. So I feel like I wanted to get a lot done, but the tiredness took over. Congratulations to all the recipients of Heroes Day, which was yesterday. A special shout out to one of my favorites, which is Prentice Panton. I know that, and Stanley Panton as well. I know that they both were recipients of a Heroes Day award, so a special shout out to them as well. And in this morning for the Business Buzz, I'm happy to welcome from Healthcare Community Nurse for Seniors, we have Carrie Ann Farron. She's the Managing Director of Healthcare Community Nurse for Seniors, and Marlene White, the Head Caregiver. Good morning, ladies. How are you doing?
Good morning.
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you.
Excellent. How was your long weekend?
Great.
Great.
Good. Busy?
Busy, but okay, we can hang it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Handle it.
So tell us all about Healthcare Community Nurse for Seniors.
Well, Healthcare Community Nurse been open, running now, operating now for the last 4 years. So what we do, we go out into the community. We find seniors that need care. Sometimes there'll be somebody refer us by, word of mouth, as you know. Good Caymanians talk, word of mouth. To take care of, at least somebody around that knows something that, a senior always need a help.
Yes.
Seniors is a must, and you have to always find time for them and then try to, find little things around,
Right. It's we have a really growing population with seniors.
It is.
Right? So, and there's, there's at least one kind of nursing home in a sense, right? I don't know if
Yes.
there's more than one. I feel bad about not knowing that. But not everybody wants to go in that. Not everybody can go in that. So it's, how do seniors get this kind of care, right? So when you started the business, I guess what gaps did you see, Carrie Ann, in that made you say, okay, I'm going to start this business?
It's been a passion from time I was a little girl. And, working in the community, because I used to do it before, private in homes. Sometimes people need care and help and don't let others know that, something is wrong in their household. And I had a neighbor that he just went missing, and I made it my business to, went and go check on him. And I sure did the right thing. And he pushed me to start my own business. And even more being passionate for it for the longest while, it just changed my life completely. And I was like, okay, I'm going to start now. I was a little bit scared to start, but, as a Caymanian, you have the hesitant 50-50, if you're going to start or not. But I did, and I'm happy I did.
I think it's natural with a lot of people, that hesitation to start a business. Should I
Yeah.
do this or not? No matter where you're from. I think we all have this kind
That's
of fear.
true.
Right?
Yeah, that is so true. It doesn't matter where you're from. Be like, okay, get started.
Yeah.
But yes.
Did you do any nursing background at all?
Yes, I did my practical at the Pines. I did a course, and that made me a qualified caregiver.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. And Miss Marlene, can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Oh, my background is I have been doing caregiving for years and years. I did it in Jamaica, from the nutrition of the elderly to taking care of them physically. When I came to the Cayman Islands, I didn't have the qualification then, but I was pushed here to by someone that had my permit, and I was taking care of their father to go. So I went to the off-campus, UWI off-campus.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I did the training there. It was
Okay.
very good. And that is how I got qualified, but I've had years of experience in the field.
I understand what that's like. Trust me.
Yes, it is.
So what was the program of study that you did with UE?
Oh, it's that was basic caregiving, really.
Mm-hmm.
But we deal with Alzheimer's, dementia,
Okay.
that kind of thing, how to take care of the patient in the proper way, the proper sense of turning them, getting the bed made while the patient is on the bed, that kind of thing.
Okay. So when we're talking about caregiving for seniors, what are all the different services that are involved in that your company at least provides?
Well, we start from basic care, go straight up to bedridden patients. So we do accept cynical, and we do also take private care. So private care, we start from $16, go up as the person can't move, as bedridden, we would say. We do both. We're always ready.
Well, can you expand on the kind of services that you do offer?
So what we do, basic care, we go out to the client's home. Sometimes we do shopping, light shopping, sometimes. Basic caregiving, basic housekeeping, and, make sure the client around is very safe for them. Make sure that their laundry is done, their breakfast is done, their hygiene definitely done. And then, day to day, the living, keeping that senior comfortable and happy and keeping them in a good spirit. That is definitely with our services too.
Right,
but
right.
yes.
Also monitor their medications.
Yeah.
and
Just gonna ask.
if they do physical therapy or so, we also accompany them to doctor's appointment
Okay.
and all of that. Some are involved with a little senior activity. We take them, we accompany them to those too.
Okay, so you help them get to and from in that sense as
Yes.
well. Okay.
So in a sense, they become a part of your family.
Now absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, absolutely, because you hope that those seniors have some family that can
Yes.
also help, but some
Yes.
just don't.
Some don't.
That's
yeah,
the reality.
That's where we come in.
That's
as
where we
second
come in
family.
as
Yeah.
the second family.
Sometimes it's just to spend the time with them and just talk with them.
Talk
and
with them.
There's quite a lot.
It is a lot.
Quite a lot of like relationship building in what you have to do.
It is. It is.
You had a bit of a nutritional background, I think you said, back in
Yes,
Jamaica when you were working
yes,
with people. So with the care that you have to give seniors in Cayman, do you find that a lot of it, you have to look at a lot of their nutrition needs?
Always, because we deal with a lot of seniors here have diabetes
Right.
or hypertension. So you look at the type of foods you can give to them. So it does come in handy, and we try to train our other nurses to be aware of that. To be
Right.
yes, so
I'm sure
it
they're,
does come in handy.
hopefully they're aware.
Yes, it works. It works because we've seen somebody like from 500 sugar reading to 100. So we have been successful in that.
500 sounds really crazy high.
It is.
Crazy. I think that was one of Miss Carrion's first major client.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you help bring them back down.
Right down.
Okay,
Right,
that's
right,
excellent. Now, in that kind of sense, do you try to get somebody who can cook for them or help them get their meals pre-made or anything like that? Because some are bedridden, right? Some of these
Yes,
seniors that you have to
yeah.
take care of, so they're not able to go and cook their own meals. I know that Meals for Meals
on
does a
Wheels,
thing,
yes.
right? But is there any kind of aspect of organization that you help with that?
No, because sometimes the client, either a NAU or family members, will provide those type of food that they eat. So we go by that list. So we create a chart, and then we go by that because the person is diabetic. You got to make sure that they're eating on time, they get the insulin on time. So it's quite a challenge, but it's okay.
When you had mentioned a little earlier about talking with the nurses, how close is your relationship then with nurses and doctors when it comes to understanding the care that you also have to provide to the seniors? Like, do they give you any direction? Or
Yeah, the doctors give
Yes,
us
they do.
directions, and then plus also we do our small consultations that we go out either to the client's house or at the hospital, because we do consultations there, or we meet at our office.
Okay.
So we definitely know the background of each client that we're picking up, and we're like, okay, yes, we can take this on. Yes, we can make a difference. Yes.
Okay. What do the clients say to you? What is their most I mean, that was a big question. What is their most, I guess, demanding need that they have? Or the most common kind of needs that they have?
Marlene can answer that.
It's really about, most of the time, it's really about somebody being there to provide meals and, as I said, monitor give them their medication on time and how it's to be administered by the doctor, as prescribed by the doctor, and keeping them the hygienic care. It's very, very, very important to a lot of seniors. They reach certain age are not inclined to, they need a little encouragement. And so you create a routine for them and you'll see so much difference. They'll ask you for a bath. They'll ask you. So, that was the most need because they're alone. So most of them just sit at home. They're not thinking about hygiene. They're not. So when we go in, that is where we create a big difference too.
A huge difference, I could imagine.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it more of they're sad that that they're kind of in this stage of life, or just unable to properly wash themselves, or maybe they don't have the right kind of tools? And when you're a little older, sometimes you might need that chair in the shower, right? Something like that to help you be at ease, that you can easily bathe yourself, right?
I think it's both. Sometimes they're sad because unfortunately not all the time loved ones are around,
Right.
or I don't think they understand the type of care that person needs. That then they need that care to feel loved, feel like they belong, to give them a sense of I am still responsible for myself. So when we go in, we still give them choice. We don't say, this is what you have to eat. What do you want to eat today? Or what would you like to do today? What would you? And it makes a big difference too.
It does.
They still have
Yes,
that,
give them
that
that
autonomy
sense
that
of-
they can make
yes,
decisions.
Their dignity, you keep their
We
dignity.
leave them like that anyway because sometimes we don't want to take their independence from them. So we jump in the kitchen with them. Some can, some can't. But the ones that still can, we jump in the kitchen with them, teach them how to do things all over again, cut up onions, fry egg. It's just a life changing.
They teach you too. Oh,
Yeah,
they
they'll teach me
you a
too. They'll
lot.
teach me. This is how I'm
What do they
supposed
do-
to do it.
What are some of the biggest, teaching moments that you've received from your own customers?
Oh, they'll teach. I, as a Jamaican, they'll teach me to cook the Cayman way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I like that.
Yes, they do. They do.
That's pretty awesome, actually. Yeah, there's some different methods in there, so
Yes.
I can say I can sometimes make a mean Cayman style beef. So
Yes, ma'am.
I definitely had to learn that from a Cayman.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, nice. What is the best feedback that you've gotten from the seniors then, with knowing that they have your care as opposed to when they didn't have your care?
Oh, you'll go in after maybe a day or two on the weekend if they just have this care from Monday to Friday. And before you get through that door, as that person hear your voice, they're like, oh, I haven't seen you for the longest while.
It might have just been 2 days.
It just been 2 days. And I'll say, yes, it's been such a long time I've seen you. They start, as I said, they become a part of, like a family.
Right.
They become your family. And they show those appreciation. They do. And they'll tell you, indirectly, they'll always talk about Miss Carrie too. I thank Miss Carrie Ann. Oh, I love your boss. Oh, yes, they do. Because they know she's the person that we work with. And so on. They'll thank her too.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Carrie, what is your team like? How many? What's your team members?
My
the staff
team
there?
is growing. It's growing, and I have compassionate, beautiful nurses that they're genuine. They have patience.
Yes, ma'am.
Patience is the key,
Okay.
and is just growing. I have some clients like we start because we start with one caregiver, and then sometimes it end up with two, because we don't know, sometimes anything can happen, the person can be sick,
Right.
you know, so we always have a backup, and Miss Marlene is also a backup. But
Always.
when
To everybody.
when you know you go into the household, it's like they'd be like, Carrie Ann, thank you so much, you know. It just get touching sometimes, that, you know, you just try not to take it personal, but at the same time you're like, okay, it's a job we're doing, we love what we do. And the girls are like, you know, they get out every day.
Oh, we have
we
amazing
have
nurses.
amazing team. They're on time, you know. Sometimes they'd be like, you don't have the extra workout, Miss Carrie Ann. It's like, okay. Like, yeah, you know, yes, we do. We're growing so fast. So the girls, I have an amazing team.
What kind of level of care givers do you
So
look for?
we have regular caregivers, we have nurse aides and nurse's assistant.
Okay.
We don't have a registered nurse yet,
Yet.
but hopefully, yes, soon on the team. Yes. So we have
Okay.
big plans for the future.
And how do you vet your employees?
Miss Marlene can answer that.
She threw that right on you.
yeah. I'm gonna hear it now.
Miss Carrie Ann has created this this level of what should we call now? The type of nurse that she wants. So even though you might be a caregiver, you're not necessarily the type of caregiver we need. So if we do take you on the team, you become a part of the team. We train you to be the type of nurse that Miss Carrie Ann wants for her organization. So CCN, when you join the team, you get all the training and that we're looking for.
So when
and
you
you
say
can see
type,
the difference. Oh,
can you narrow that down a little?
yes. Caring, compassionate, full of empathy. On time, you have to be well groomed from head to toe and know more than anything, know how to address clients so that they feel like that important person.
Okay. Okay, that's great. It's important. Yeah, I think you hit a lot
yes,
of
you have to.
a lot of traits that you would want a caregiver to have
Yes,
for
ma'am.
sure. It makes a huge difference.
It's like you're taking care of your mom. You would
You-
want the
right,
best for
you
your
want the
mom.
best.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so, you know, and we're giving the best for your mom and your father or your grandparents.
Right. Family member, loved
Family
one.
members,
whoever it
and
might be.
and whoever needs the care.
We got to go to our first commercial break, but when we come back, we'll wrap up our segment.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series. Brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Cayman teas, or otherwise known as bush tea, have long been known for their medicinal properties. A past director of the Agricultural Society, Mr. Alvin McLaughlin, recalls fondly that his knowledge of Cayman teas came from his mother, Miss Crystalline McLaughlin, and grandmother, Kathura Jackson. Before the prevalence of modern medicine, Cayman bush teas were regularly boiled to alleviate various complaints and ailments. Guava leaf and pomegranate are both known for keeping blood sugar levels low in diabetics and were an important part of Camangan tradition. To make a good brew, pick and dry leaves for a few days, put a handful of leaves into a pan, cover with water, and bring to a boil. Brew for 5 minutes, then pour, leaving the remainder to seep with the leaves still in the pan. Teas can be sweetened with honey and sugar.
Information from this historical vignette was sourced courtesy of Mr. Alvin McLaughlin, The History of Agriculture, 50th Annual Agriculture Show magazine.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we are talking with healthcare community nurse for seniors. I have Miss Carrie Ann Farron. She's the managing director, and Marlene White, the head caregiver. And just now on the break, we were talking about how important it is to be listened to. And so almost no matter what age you are, what level of care you're getting, it's that when you are the patient, you know that you want people to listen to you.
Yes.
And while there could be doctors and nurses that are like, okay, this is what we got to do, and they're on their way, they might spend a minute or two with you, you're kind of like, but you have questions, you really want to tell them more, say this isn't working for me, and it's almost like they don't always have the time to give you. But your company's a lot different in that sense. So a large part of it is that caring, the emphasis on caring, and listening to the seniors. Now you told me why during the break it's so important to listen to seniors, but Marlene, if you could touch on that again.
Oh, yes. Let them feel that they're still contributing to society, and and that their decision still counts.
Mm-hmm.
What they do matters. They feel that yes, somebody is listening,
right,
and somebody does care what I think they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
right. Because some people need just a little bit of care. Some people need a lot.
Yes.
Do you ever do like the 24/7 kind of care, or have to keep any of the caregivers there for more than a day or two?
Sometimes it depends on the family members.
Depends.
Yeah, they'll request a service 24-hour care, and then we switch nurses. So one going for 12-hour shift, the other one going for another 12-hour shift.
Okay.
Because the person cannot be left alone.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So yeah.
That could be the what if they get really sick, and it's that sense you know that and you can't leave them, but they're not I want to say ill enough that they don't have to go to the hospital or
Or they
be
don't want
admitted.
to.
Or they don't want to.
Sometimes
you
they
get a lot of
just
that?
don't want
Yeah,
to. Yes, they
yeah.
don't want
I don't want to go to HSA. I don't want to
don't
go
want to.
nowhere, Shadi. I don't want to go nowhere.
How do you deal
Doctor's
with that?
gonna come to me. Sometimes
What a
you
nice
just
world that would be.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to just give them their time. You know, make them cool down. You know, sweet them up sometimes. I'm gonna
Yes.
get your favorite food. What you gonna cook me today?
Yes.
I can saltfish or whatever you want. But at the same time, it's just to have that patience and just sit there and wait on them until they're ready to deal with you again.
Yes, 'cause they do calm down after a while.
Yeah.
Sometimes they throw tantrum a lot. What not tantrum really? It's the illness that they have. So there are times when they're really, really cranky. Sometimes you just have to rub the head with someone. Oh, what happened to you today? You know what happened, but you have, you know, they are in that childlike state where you try to appease them, still letting them know. Yes, I know you were wrong. Yes, you are right. and yes, and so it's really about caring and the empathy that you have. That's or the main trait.
It sounds a little bit like managing emotions as well,
It is.
which
It is.
I would say in your profession is a really important thing, because emotions come and go, right? They're waves of them, and as you said, you know that it's going to pass, and so you
Yes,
just kind of work with them
yes.
through it. When it comes to specialized services, like Alzheimer's, dementia care, anything else, how do you address that? Do you offer very specialized services?
Well, half our nurses are trained for dementia and Alzheimer's.
Okay.
So we do have quite a few clients that have that sickness, that we definitely make sure that we hire people under those backgrounds and the experience of, you know, dealing with them, and to make sure that they can actually deal with the client, you know, because some days are good, some days are bad, but, you know, we can deal with it.
What's some of the most difficult parts of the job that you have to do?
It's Marlene.
Oh, some of the most difficult part is, as I said, that the person becomes a part of you, your family, and it's only natural if that person passed. Then it's
Yeah.
It hits us
it-
hard.
That's
it's
heartbreaking.
hard, yes.
Yeah.
And because when you have patients like that, they become so special that other nurses know about. So you will go into there and you say, "Oh, Miss Carey, Miss White was, you know, so and so today." And Miss Carey and say, "Yeah, I know," and so. So when it's a family, you go to Miss Carey and you say, "Miss Carey, she's not doing well," or you know, it drains you a little to see that you're doing your best, but that person is still on the decline. It's hard.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hard.
When it comes to the family, because families can have their own demands and their own requests from you and their own
Yes, they
ideas of how they want things to be done.
Yes, ma'am.
But the patient then has also their own, you know, and it can be a miscommunication or misunderstanding a lot of the time. How do you deal with that? Who are you listening to more of, I guess?
I guess we will take piece out of everything.
Yes.
But when it comes to that, we want everybody to be on the same level. So we actually take time out to make sure that he understands, she understands, and this is how we're going to do it. Can we get started like this? And if it doesn't work this way with us, we can try your side
Okay.
or the family member's side. So once we get started, it's always like, okay, let's try Miss Carrie Ann pattern, and it always work out. So it's such an easy filter that you can go in and just fix things in their household, and sometimes it works out to the best. They seniors wait on you on time, 6 o'clock. You're walking through that door, they're waiting. So it's
They're very punctual.
Yeah, the pattern is
Yes.
so nice. Okay, then what time do Mama wake up? My mama wake up at 6. Okay, do you want us to have the caregivers walking at 6? Yes, Mom. And they're waiting. They're waiting at 6, sometimes 6:30. They're waiting. Right, Miss Marlene?
Oh, yes. And they'll tell you if you're a bit late.
You're 5 minutes late,
You're
you
5
know.
minutes late, you know. Oh, yes.
Oh, they're definitely waiting on you.
We always do that. If we're a bit late, we do give a time. Sometimes you're not even conscious of the time you're spending with that person. Sometimes you realize, oh, but it's 3:20, but I should have left at 3 o'clock. You know, they're like that. Sometimes they engage you so much because they'll tell you some of the most amazing stories of their lives.
Even if you won't hear it 3-4 times.
Right.
It's still amazing.
Every day, you know, like dementia.
Right.
patient,
I'm sure with dementia patients, that'll
and
happen.
you have to listen and
like it's the first time.
Happy.
Yeah.
Yes, and they're happy.
Carrie Ann, how do you want this business to grow?
Real big. Healthcare community nurse is growing, and it's growing very fast. The seniors out there, they're hearing about us, they're seeing us. Word of mouth is growing us also. Today when this radio came on, I will definitely get phone calls after this.
You will.
You know, because some people know about us, some people don't know about us. So that's why we're here, to, you know, to push it even more, to let them know we will be number one on Cayman.
Oh, yes.
And we're growing very fast. So you will see nurses flooding every district. Georgetown, West Bay, East End, name it, it's there. You will see girls out there because seniors live in all districts, and we're behind them. We're actually behind them today in our neighborhood, which is in Newlands. So we're actually on the ground there today, you know, doing our work, going to house. The seniors that we know that's out there that need the care, we're actually out there after here.
And let us know, let the seniors know, because I know they're listening as well. Let us know how we can get in touch with you. So
we have 2 numbers. We have email address also, but our numbers are 326-6526 and 321-0465. You can also email us at communitynurse345@gmail.com, and we're also on IG. We're also on Facebook. All you got to do is type in healthcare community nurse, or even if you can find us under communities. It's, you know, a lot of people, they say they've been finding me under communities for the seniors in the, I guess what do you call it, when it comes up, when you're sharing. I guess how I'm doing the IG page is just running ads, okay, and then them showing up under those things. Okay. So, yes. And we also do have a website. So our website is healthcarecommunitynurse.com. Everything is there. All our services are there, and our numbers are there also with our email. Okay, wonderful, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us this morning and for letting us know. I know it's gonna be a thriving business. Congrats
it is
on
number one. Number one.
Excellent.
Thank you.
We're gonna go to the 8 a.m. news, and after that, it's gonna be a little bit more talk about nursing, actually. So stay tuned for that segment. You feel okay?
Yes.
Why is your drink so green? Is this some New Year trend?
Being healthy isn't a trend, it's a lifestyle, and I'm trying to do better, to be better.
Be better? Well, what's wrong with regular soda?
In moderation, nothing. But it's nice to have something nourishing.
Wow, you took New Year, New Me to heart.
You gotta when you're helping to live well with Foster's and CG Brit K. It's a great free resource for healthy tips to help you achieve your wellness goals.
How do I start?
Check out livewell.fosters.ky and live well with Foster's and CG Brit K.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
And studio time by Foster's is 3 minutes past 8.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands. Good morning. With a look at your latest news, I'm Jevi Ebanks. The Cayman Islands Coast Guard is confirming a report yesterday of a boat taking in water in the North Sound. The Coast Guard reports that all 7 passengers were disembarked at Rum Point and the boat was towed back to the Coast Guard base. All passengers are safe and there's no shipping hazards. Stay tuned to Radio Cayman as we bring you more on this developing story. In other local news, the murder trial of Anastasio Rankin and Roland Welcome is set to continue in its 3rd week today. The men who deny the charges are accused of killing Sven Connor in December 2023 at his home in East End. The trial is overseen by Justice Cheryl Richards KC and is set to resume at 10 a.m. in the main court building. Last week, it was the Public Accounts Committee. This week, it should be the Standing Select Committee to oversee the performance of the Office of the Ombudsman. More now from Radio Cayman's Carsley Fuller.
The televised public meeting will be held in Parliament. The focus will be on the 2023 annual report from the Office of the Ombudsman. The Ombudsman herself, Sharon Rollstone, will respond to members' questions and provide the public with information from the report, which was tabled in the House back in July. The Ombudsman Committee's primary mandate is to review the performance and budget of the office with a quorum of 3 members. Select committees usually meet in private, but back in 2022, the committee approved a resolution to allow it to hold its meetings in the chamber in the 2021-25 term. The meeting is intended to provide the public with, quote, greater insight into the activities of the Office of the Ombudsman and to promote awareness of the resources available to the community. The current members of the Ombudsman Committee are Bernie Bush, the Honorable Jay Ebanks, Christopher Saunders, the Honorable Joey Hugh, and David White. The public is invited to tune into the proceedings through the government's YouTube channel. Reporting for Radio Cayman News, I'm Carsley Fuller.
Thank you, Carsley. The Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency hosts a closing ceremony for their energy efficiency program. As CIG TV's Donna Bush reports, with comments from the Honorable Dwayne Seymour, the event marked the successful completion of 2 initiatives.
Now, the residential energy efficiency program focused on putting in place energy-saving measures in homes, while the public sector energy efficiency program targeted government buildings.
This program has laid the groundwork for future efforts by highlighting proven techniques for energy efficiency building local capacity, and raising awareness about the role each of us can play in achieving our national energy goals.
Together, these initiatives aimed to reduce energy consumption, promote sustainability, and enhance public awareness of energy efficiency practices. As the ministry's senior policy advisor, Kristen Smith, explains, preliminary data shows a significant reduction in energy consumption for the 10 retrofitted NHDT homes. A comparison of October 2023 and October 2024 energy usage highlights that homeowners benefited from lower energy costs due to the efficiency measures.
We installed the installation in June, so we received about a 2-month lag, I believe, in bills. So by August, we're starting to see that dip, and August is when you put in the air conditioning. And so it's really dipped September, October, the hottest months. It's nice to see compared to the year before. We've seen that dip in consumption. So dropping from just under 1,400 kilowatts to just over 600 kilowatts. And when Homeward came in just now, she said her bill has dropped from $800 to $170. And so that's kind of the results we like to see.
The closing ceremony served as a milestone celebrating the successes and laying the groundwork for continued efforts in sustainability and climate resiliency.
The resources and guides are available at gov.ky/energy. That is your latest news. I'm Jevi Ebanks. Now to the BBC for headlines around the world.
BBC News with Roisin Hasty. The United Nations says hospitals in the Congolese city of Goma have been overwhelmed by casualties as Rwandan-backed rebels battle to take control. A spokesman for the humanitarian agency OCHA said there were many bodies on the streets. In Kinshasa, the Congolese capital, protesters have denounced the rebel attack on Goma. Embassies, including the Rwandan, Ugandan, French and Belgian missions, have been targeted. Serbia's Prime Minister Milos Vučević has resigned. He's stepped down after months of anti-government protests prompted by the deadly collapse of a train station canopy. The Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen is spending the day touring European capitals in the hope of winning support for her country's sovereignty over Greenland. Donald Trump has said the US wants to take over the Arctic territory. In Albania, dozens of asylum seekers have arrived in a new attempt by Italy to push ahead with its plan to relocate migrants. A ship carrying nearly 50 people was the first to reach Albania after a delay caused by legal challenges. Jordanian helicopters have begun flying in aid to Gaza for the first time since the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas started more than a week ago. The aircraft are carrying urgently needed medical supplies. Hundreds of aid trucks have been arriving in Gaza by road each day. Pakistan's Senate has approved legislation that introduces sweeping controls on social media. The law criminalises what's described as fake information online. A Japanese broadcaster has tried to restore its reputation for openness after a sex scandal by holding a news conference lasting more than 10 hours. Hundreds of journalists asked questions until the early hours of the event hosted by Fuji Television. And Nepali Airlines have resumed rescue helicopter flights to the Everest region. They were suspended earlier this month after protests over their environmental impact.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio. For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. Brought to you by UHealth International, University of Miami Health System. International patients go to UHealth International for consultations with renowned physicians, advanced treatment technologies, leading-edge medical therapies, and state-of-the-art surgical procedures. Whatever your particular reason for going to UHealth International, you will receive customized medical care delivered within a compassionate, multicultural setting. The care you need when you need it.
The Ministry of Planning, Agriculture, Housing, Infrastructure, Transport and Development is pleased to provide the APATH grant program to help you thrive. Whether you're interested in pursuing higher education or a career in planning, infrastructure, agriculture, housing, or transport, APATH is designed just for you. Ready to take the leap? Apply today. For more information, please contact APATH Secretariat at 936-6231 or mpahi@gov.ky. APATH, your path to success in the Cayman Islands.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 79 degrees. Relative humidity is 82%. The barometric pressure 29.99 inches and falling. The wind is northeast at 10 knots. Overnight low was 76. Synopsis indicate an area of high pressure across the southeastern United States will continue to support fresh winds along with moderate to rough seas across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours. Radar images show isolated showers in and around the Cayman area moving towards the southwest. Now the forecast for today and tonight calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers for today and 20% chance for tonight. Temperatures today will be in the low to mid 80s and will fall to the mid 70s tonight. Your winds will be northeast at 15 to 20 knots, and seas will be moderate to rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet. Today's high tide will occur this morning at 9:30, low tide this afternoon at 3:35, and a high tide again tonight at 8:46. The sun will set this evening at 6:15 and will rise tomorrow morning at a minute after 7. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Friday morning.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman invites golfers to kick off the new year with their annual Golf Scramble, taking place on Friday, February 7th at the beautiful North Sound Golf Club. Tee off with a 12:30 p.m. shotgun start and enjoy a range of exciting competition on the course. It's the perfect opportunity for companies to bring their teams together for some fun and team building while supporting a great cause. Event, hole, and team sponsors are also available for businesses looking to make an impact. So grab your colleagues, friends, or golf buddies and make it a day to remember. For more details or to secure your spot, contact LCIF coordinator at lionsclubgcm.ky today. Let's tee up for a fantastic 2025 and make this event a hole-in-one for our community.
The Cayman Arts Festival is back this February, bringing 2 weeks of exceptional music and talent from both international stars and local artists. Thursday, February 6th, experience the groundbreaking African concert series called Exhilarated Brilliance by The Independent. This concert bridges Western classical and African traditional music. Saturday, February 8th, the world-renowned Sakoni Quartet takes the stage with over 2 decades of thrilling performances. Sunday, February 9th, don't miss the magical collaboration between the Cayman Youth Choir and acclaimed Broadway performers. It's an unforgettable fusion of local and international talent. And that's only week 1. The 2025 Cayman Arts Festival, celebrating music, creativity, and connection. For tickets and more information, visit caymanartsfestival.com or call 922-5550.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning again. Let's take a look this time what's happening on our roads. Further up on Shamrock Road, traffic is moving on moderately. Further down, a different story. This traffic is steady in some sections, a little heavier in other sections. As you approach the Linford Pearson Highway, traffic is moving on steadily and coming off of the Esselid Tibbetts Highway as well. Edward Street moving along pretty good in heading across from the Georgetown Post Office. As we look to Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue, traffic is moderate in both directions and flowing moderately heading towards the Industrial Park area from the Butterfield Roundabout. Steady but flowing traffic on North Sound Road in both directions. On Crew Road, heading to Georgetown, traffic is slow moving. Heading east on Crew Road, moderate flow of traffic. Owen Roberts Drive flowing at a good pace. Into Georgetown on Shedden Road, looking pretty good. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moderate in both directions. And coming off of Agnes Way and Bobby Thompson Way, steady traffic. That's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. And if you're just joining us this morning, I hope you all enjoyed a wonderful long weekend and what was a great Heroes Day yesterday and a great Heroes Day celebration in the evening as well. I know my dog was going nuts at the fireworks, and she usually doesn't. She's usually pretty calm with them, so that was interesting. Maybe she felt like we were missing out. We should have been there, so I hope everybody did enjoy that. I saw a lot of the recipients who were honored, and congratulations to everybody who did receive their nominations and their honors, really. It's a good thing. They were celebrating entrepreneurship in the Cayman Islands, which is such a huge fabric of our economy and our society. All right, on this segment of the Business Buzz, I am happy to welcome Felicia McLean. She is our Chief Nursing Officer with the Ministry of Health. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing great.
Good. How was your long weekend?
It was good. I think as much like you, felt like I wanted to do a lot, but felt a bit tired. So
yeah, I was so tired.
Yeah,
it was crazy how much
so fast, so very fast.
It did. I was like, I need a vacation already. We just, we came back from the holidays, but really, sometimes you just get hit with a wave of tiredness, and I'm like, okay. I know my doctor's listening, being like, "Are you taking your vitamin D pills?"
Vitamin D and vitamin B. Yes.
Yes, I'm not. No vitamin B for me. So maybe I'll get on that too. Yes, but definitely, I have my coffee. If that counts.
Listen, at this point in time, whatever it takes, right?
Right, absolutely. It can be all day long. I can still have coffee and go right to sleep. So that's the other thing, which probably isn't the best. But anyways, we are here to talk about a nurse research study that it's in partnership with a bunch of people. So I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about it. What is this new research initiative that's launched by the Ministry of Health to strengthen nursing in the Cayman Islands?
Back when I was hired, almost a year ago, it was March. Yeah. I was crazy that we're almost at a year. It feels like yesterday. One of the initiatives that they kind of tasked me with was looking at how we can improve the profession, the nursing profession. And in doing that, I am not a person that works in silos. So I said, let's grab our nursing leaders together. So I put together a bunch of nursing leaders from all the major hospitals and some of the smaller ones. So Doctors Hospital, Health City, HSA, Public Health, Ponciana, the nursing home in the government DCS nursing home. She's on there as well. And also the School of Nursing. So we meet together on a monthly basis, and we said, what do we want to look at doing? How do we look at tackling and raising that profession? And we thought, hold on a second, we really don't know what the barriers are to in career advancement within the nursing profession. And instead of assuming what we all think could be the issues, we said, let's do a Delphi study where we could ask the nursing population on the island working and practicing here, what are their barriers to career development? And then what do they think are the solutions? And in a Delphi study, it over a period of questions asked and then rating, it's going to come up with a consensus of what the top 5 are, the problems and the top 5 solutions. So, and it's a really good study because it's anonymity. There's no identifiers, and so you're just kind of rating. The first round, you're saying these are what I think it is. The second round, you're prioritizing them. In the third round, it's like your winning group, whatever this is what we think it is. And then from there, we can look at how we can address improving career development within the nursing profession here on the island.
Okay. Now, I'd have to say, it's not something I think about, but I didn't think that there was any challenge to career development in nursing in Cayman.
Oh, I mean, I think it's huge. There are challenges everywhere, but I think unique to us because we're an island to ourselves. When I graduated as a nurse in 97, it was kind of like, what do you do to then go from there? And I started as a licensed practical nurse. So the natural thing was then you needed your degree, you needed to get your RN. So how do you go about doing that? I had to find financial support. I was a young mother at the time. So what do I do with my child? So all of those were barriers necessarily for me to be able to continue to move on from a licensed practical nurse to a registered nurse. Thankfully, I got a scholarship. Thankfully, I was able to take my daughter based on savings and family support. But those would be things that you had to overcome. Once I came back, it was then yet again a challenge. Our current nursing program here on the island just trains now for an RN. So if I wanted to then become an advanced nurse practitioner, I wouldn't be able to do that here. Or if I did do it, maybe it'd be in part because there's a clinical component that wouldn't necessarily be offered or supported here on the island. And so we see that often as well with other nurses who come here. They might come and they might work in surgical ward, but they can't then switch into something else. Or what do they do to go into leadership? What do they do to go into management? How do they then train up to become a chief nursing officer? Like what that looks like. People don't know what they need to do necessarily to advance. They don't know what's needed, and they may not have the means or the ability to do so. They may not be encouraged by their employers with this is what we're hoping for. You never want someone to come in and start as the cleaner and stay as the cleaner for their 30 years or 40 years of practice. You want them to know how they can move up the ranks, and that's what we're looking at. Like, we want our nurses to continually skill up, because that's going to enhance the care that we provide. It's going to make the biggest difference on our overall health care, and it also creates the door for others to come beneath you. If you stay in that role forever, then you're never opening the door for someone else to come in there as well, and your skills in this area can come very stagnant. So sometimes they also do the clinical skills. So maybe you want to specialize in wound care, or maybe you want to specialize in, ECMO care for babies, which is like a heart procedure that they work on, but we don't tend to have it. We're small. We're not a big teaching hospital. We don't have a huge teaching medical facility on the island. So that in itself is a barrier to career advancement.
Are we even a teaching hospital at HSA?
They do some of the supportive stuff for the nursing school on the island. So yes, both Health City and HSA, and we're trying to get Doctors Hospital on board as well as a clinical rotation. But the hospital itself isn't necessarily a teaching hospital, but it does support the education of the St. Matthew students when they rotate through, and also the nursing school.
Okay, when we say the nursing school, that is through, is it UCCI?
So it's UCCI. It's the Ruth Eleanor Nursing School, which currently trains locals to do a 4-year degree in nursing. So when they finish, they have a bachelor's degree in nursing, which is, we've had it now for 10 years. And it's still growing, and we've got a lot of work to do to get it to continue to grow. But it's been, we think we've gotten a total of, I want to say, I can't remember, don't hold me to it, maybe between 40 and 50 students out of that maybe it's less. I can't remember. Don't hold me to it. But we've been turning out nurses. They're currently working in the hospital here, which is amazing.
I know
they're
a couple
working at
of
Doctors
them.
Hospital. So we're going in the right direction for sure.
Absolutely.
We want to continue that.
Absolutely. Like I said, I know a couple of them. We were playing sports together when they were doing their degree, and I remember all the studies and everything they were going through, and they were just so excited. And when they graduated, and seen them at HSA, and I just absolutely love them. So when I would have to go in for certain wrist surgeries, these girls would always come and check on me, and I loved it. Like I absolutely, every time I go in, I'm like, give her a raise. Give her. I'm sure the doctors are like, that's not on me. But I still say it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Listen, keep advocating for sure.
I do, absolutely. So can you tell, even before we go there, so you were saying that there's some barriers. We're going to get into the barrier part for sure. But when it comes to, you want to upskill, you want to learn a little bit more, there's continuing education, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a career development.
Mm-hmm.
Can you, a lot of people will think that's the same thing.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what the difference is with that?
So anyone's registered within the nursing profession has to do continuing education. So it's basically, you might attend a lecture, and out of that lecture you'll get 1 or 2 hours continuing education, depending on what it is. You'll see that when they have the healthcare conferences, when they have the upcoming cancer symposium or the Alex Panton Foundation symposium. All of those are educational sessions where you get to learn a little bit about something else, but you're not necessarily being taught a whole new skill. You're just kind of sitting through a lecture. If you're doing it online, you might read through a lecture and then answer some questions, and then you get an outstanding.
I can't even say it.
That's okay. So lymphedema therapy is the movement basically of lymph fluids through your body. So a lot of times people with cancer, you'll see them with, especially with breast cancer, they will have really big limbs. Their arms are swollen with lots of extra fluid because the lymph nodes have been removed, and then the fluid can't move the way it needs to move to circulate. So it gets caught in the arm or in the lower limbs and that kind of stuff. And so this lymphedema therapy is a way to move the fluid around so that it can exit the body the right way instead of accumulating it. And it's also helping to move the arm, because when it gets that big or the legs that big, you can't move it and use it the way you want to. So it's a therapy, a complementary therapy that goes along with chemotherapy treatments. A lot of times are patients that are having radiation and those kind of stuff where their lymph nodes have been destroyed.
Okay, interesting.
So that was a skill that then at the end of the day you get, you've got CLT after your name, you're a certified lymphedema therapist. And then if you wanted to do more things, you can continue to skill up. So those are the kind of difference between just a course that doesn't change anything, but your knowledge set changes a bit on the matter, subject matter, and versus being trained and educated through a course on how to do a particular type of treatment and then being certified to offer that care.
Okay, thank you for breaking that down right there. I feel like I would do a lymphatic massage. I've always seen that on different spa menus, and I've been like, I don't know about this, but I understand the whole purpose of being trained to do this as well.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to cancer patients, which Cayman has its fair share of that. So it's a great skill to have.
For sure.
We got to go to our first commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to get into so much more to learn about this nursing study that we're doing.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
This is how we wake you up in the morning. Praise time on Radio Cayman. Praise time.
Jesus in the morning. I will. So send me, Lord. I will go.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and I am sitting here with the Chief Nursing Officer, Miss Felicia McLean from the Ministry of Health, and we're talking about a groundbreaking study to identify and address the barriers to career development within the nursing profession. Now, Felicia was giving us a bit of a background at the beginning, the first 15 minutes of that show, where we were talking about, well, we just finished with the difference between what continuing education is within your profession and then what career development is. Now, when it comes to nursing, because you also mentioned for yourself how you started and then you became a registered nurse. And then after that, where have you taken your, I guess, your nursing level to?
Yeah. Great question. Another reason why this study is near and dear to my heart. So I didn't do much more after that. I did come back and get caught in Caymanism of this nursing, island, small pot. So I came back and I really, really wanted to go and be in an ER, but they were like, you're going to have to go back off island again. And I had just come back from school and I had a 5-year-old at the time. And I'm like, I can't go again. I couldn't do it to myself. I just wasn't ready to just go again. And so I was blessed that Jasmine was willing to take me on board and say, well, we'll train you on island. So they were going to give me the education I needed without having to travel. So I was like, score, because I wanted to advance my career, but I did not have the wherewithal to leave the island again. And I was able to do courses. I did do travel with them, some shadowing overseas, and my actual certification came from the U.S., by taking the examination to become a certified palliative care nurse. However, then it kind of stopped again, because yet again it was like, where do you want to go? How do you do it? What do you need to do next? I wasn't quite sure. And so I didn't really do anything else. I just continued to work my way up the ladder in regards to on the ground kind of thing. So I went from team manager to then director without any formal education. And that's kind of why this study yet again is near and dear to my heart, because I think had I understood back then a little bit more about the career pathway, I might have then from there taken a leadership degree or a master's in healthcare administration or something.
Right.
But I didn't really have anyone pushing me, and I didn't really know any different, and I was, passionate about what I did, and so I was able to work my way up the ladder that way without having the formal education. And
Good for you. Well, I mean, that's still a great thing that you had that ambition to do it, and that you were getting the training exposure to do so. But also, I completely understand in the, you wish you kind of had somebody that was able to guide you in that sense, and knowing that you didn't necessarily have that. Okay, there is a huge gap, and we need to address this and see how we can advance other people's careers.
Correct. And so that's kind of where we're at now. We're like, we want to hear, are the same barriers that I have the only barriers that still exist? Or are there other barriers that are currently existing that we need to be looking at to tackle that, so that we can create, through that nursing stakeholder group, through the Ministry of Health, through the Nursing and Midwifery Council, a career pathway that lets everyone know this is what you'd have to do to work your way up in the Cayman community as a nurse, so that you can set your goals and then go for it. You want to earn more money. When we talk about giving those nurses a salary raise, what do they need to do to do that? You know what I mean? It's not going to be your average continuing education where you're just, learning a bit and attending these conferences. That just keeps your day-to-day practice, relevant. Yeah. It's going to be actually what courses to take, where can I get them, how affordable they are. Those are going to be the things that are going to allow you to move up and upskill yourself so that you're marketable, whether you stay in the Cayman Islands or whether you go somewhere else, but you're not staying stagnant in one area.
Man, I hear you, and that just really resonates with me on a personal note as well. But to go into the different levels of nursing, so people might not know, and I didn't really know until I was doing a little bit of research myself, what are the different levels of nursing that one can reach in their career?
So
attain to, I should say.
Yeah, I'm going to say there's nursing is, and this is my own passion, the most amazing profession to be in, because from a ground of being a nurse, you can become almost anything you want to be, because nursing touches so many areas. And I'm going to just quickly say that, even though it's not quite your answer.
Right.
So you can be a nurse and work on the floor. You can be a nurse and work in outpatients, where you're working Monday to Friday and helping, day-to-day patients coming in and coming out for just appointments. You can be a nurse and work in the insurance company to help oversee files and case management and that kind of stuff. You can be a nurse and work in travel medicine, so you're traveling with patients depending on what you're working. You can be a nurse and you can work in forensics. You can be a nurse and work in children, family, social work areas in that regard. There's the school nursing. The sky is the limit as to where you can go from a basic nursing degree.
Those are different fields that you can enter. Yeah, wonderful.
The sky is the limit. So that can move you into so many different areas. It's so versatile of a starting point in that regards. But in regards to your question, nursing, if we look at it, you have your basic healthcare assistant. So let's just start even before you're actually a nurse. I finished high school. What do I do if I'm interested in nursing, but I'm not quite sure that's what I want to do? Some people choose to become home health care assistants, or they call them nursing assistants as well. Similar to the ladies that were on earlier, being caregiver providers. That teaches them the basic bed, how to change someone in the bed, how to take their vitals, how to just, support the nursing and just doing basic ADL activities of daily living care. And so from there, that gives you a taste. It's usually a 3-month course, and that gives you that. If they're really interested and they're loving it, and that's definitely what they want to do, then they can go on, and we recommend nowadays to just go straight into nursing. So going into that 4-year degree program. Some people don't because of financial situation in the U.S. I know they still offer your licensed practical nurse program, and so does Jamaica. It's called a registered nursing assistance program. I know it's confusing, so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's
they
good
have
to know the
two different names, but they're the same qualification. It's usually like an 18-month course where you then, which is what I did, where you then learn all about nursing, but you have limitations to what you can do. So licensed practical nurse or registered nursing assistant, they don't do blood, they don't do the education, the teaching component, because they don't have all the skills. They've got a bit of it, but not everything. But they can give medications, and they work under the direct supervision of a nurse. So a registered nurse has to be there overseeing their care, even though that's on the ground. Then from there, or the better starting point, which is what we have at the Ruth Eleanor Nursing School, would be to enroll there into the 4-year nursing program. At the end of there, you have a degree. Yet again, a degree that you can use to do whatever you want to do with, go anywhere, or you can go into nursing. And normally, as a new grad, you want to go into a hospital that has a preceptorship program where you're going to be shadowed for that first 6 months and really, given a bit more guidance before just kind of like letting you go on the floor. And HSA does have one. I think Doctors Hospital has one as well on island. From that basic bachelor's degree, you can choose to then say, I want to be a senior leader. So you might choose to just do some educational courses on leadership in general, which is just going to skill you up in how to be a leader, how to manage people. The hardest part of management is managing people. Hardest part, but skill you up in that regards. And so then you might be able to move up into a nurse leader. From there, you're going to have to do another degree in regards to like nurse educator, nurse leader. So you can do a master's in leadership, a master's in healthcare administration if you want to go into more of an admin role in that regards. Some people choose to do public health. So you could go anywhere from there, and then eventually, normally towards your once you've got your master's, you're in the running then for those senior leadership roles in nursing, across the board. And you could then choose to do your doctor as well, which is what Nurse Hazel Brown did. She was as chief nursing officer before me within HSA. She skilled up and got her doctors in, I'm not sure what it was, but it's a nursing related leadership doctorate. And so you can become that. And but understanding how that happens and what your institution requires you to have to be able to move up is key.
What about a nurse practitioner? Where do they fall in?
So nurse practitioner is also right after that 4-year degree as a nurse. Okay. Then instead of doing a leadership one, you could choose to do a nurse practitioner one, which would take you there, which is key as well here. And sorry, thanks for reminding me because I didn't remember mentioning it. But we've that was another barrier, or still is currently a barrier. So to date, we don't actually license through the Nursing Midwifery Council nurse practitioners on the island. So no one made it make sense to go study to be a nurse practitioner because you couldn't get licensed to practice as a nursing practitioner on the island. And as of today, we're looking to change that. That is one of our goals. With the new pharmacy bill that Parliament passed last year, it allows for prescribing, which was the hiccup in it before. A nurse couldn't prescribe. So that's one of the things nurses practitioners can do is they can treat and prescribe medication, but with the changes to the law, with the proper qualifications, then nurses can prescribe. So nurse practitioners can be licensed. So we're moving in the right direction again.
That's excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I've heard nurse practitioners can do almost everything a doctor can do.
Yep.
That is kind of true.
It is. They do work on this. So similar as a licensed practical nurse works under an RN, a nurse practitioner works under a doctor. So the doctor has to understand, believe in the skill set and trust the person to work with them. But yes, they can do almost everything. Certain jurisdictions limit certain things. I think in Canada, they can't prescribe physiotherapy. So there's some limitations, but they can do almost as much as that doctor from a GP standpoint or the specialty that they're working in. Yeah, for sure. It's amazing. And it will be amazing for the healthcare of the Cayman Islands. That's how we see it, because you could have a lot more nurse practitioners in the communities doing first line, basic GP care. So I got a cough, I got a cold, I don't feel well. They can do all of those type of things. They can see them, they can assess them. And so hopefully we can have more point of care major health centers in the community versus everyone trying to come in to the hospitals here in town. So
I think it's a very lucrative career as well, because there's a few nurse practitioners and actually travel nurses that I know in the U.S. that are making around $150K a year. That's pretty good.
The sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. Listen, even before you get to that, I have a girlfriend that went to school with me in Miami, and based on their shift schedule, they literally, if you work Saturday, Sunday, because it's not the shift people tend to want, you get like double the salary. And you do that, but you have to commit to do it for one whole year. But they literally paid off their mortgage. It was crazy. The sky is the limit. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
You got to put in the work, and I will say, you gotta love what you do.
Yes.
Because it's a lot of work. It's not an easy job.
But there's so many different things to do about it. So you're not kind of stuck in one, like a couple mundane tasks over and over and over again. There's so many different things you can do as a nurse.
So many different things. Yeah. From pediatrics to maternity, to, like I said, it's just the sky is the limit. Honestly.
Let's we got to go to commercial break, but we're going to talk about barriers. So after this commercial break, we're going to talk about barriers and get a little bit more into the actual Delphi study. Yes.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, the forum of the people. Join me, Art Connor, on For the Record on Radio Cayman. We put the tough questions to government officials, independents, and opposition members of our parliament. And from time to time, we revisit our storied past. Tune in on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. Reach out to us on 949-6990 or 1-800-534-8255. WhatsApp us 925-3261 or email talktooc@gmail.com. Your voice matters.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller. Business Buzz.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm Kathy Miller, and in studio I have Chief Nursing Officer Felicia McLean from the Ministry of Health. We are talking about the nurse research study that the ministry has initiated, and I want to talk about now the barriers that are to nursing and the career development within nursing in the Cayman Islands. So let's hit on that. What are the barriers that you're recognizing or know about or hearing about?
So yeah, kind of like what I said earlier. Barriers are, we don't really have a full-fledged teaching hospital here on the island. So where do you go if you want to, skill up? If you're in nursing already and you're already working as a professional, how do you stop your life to go overseas to study? Or even stay here and study? Do we have our hospitals or places of work supportive of giving staff time off to study? So if you're doing a master's in something and you need, a study day to prepare for a test or what that looks like, is that easily granted? Is it encouraged? Is it supported? Is there any financial assistance that if you were taking time off that they're going to support it, or would they even pay for it? Like, how easy is it to get a scholarship to do my master's? I don't think there's enough information out there. Maybe it is available, but do people know it's available? And then what would be the best one? Who's guiding them? Where are the mentors? Are there mentors within their institutions, or are there mentors on island that they can come to and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking of doing? It was actually interesting the other day. We had someone was interested in getting a scholarship, and the scholarship secretariat people reached out to me knowing that the person was interested in nursing to come and say, what is your recommendation for this person? They want to do this. These are their challenges. They're a young mom and they've got kids. And so they, how do they go about, could this course work? Would that be enough then to be qualified to reach the level you want? There wasn't really anyone before that you can go to and actually talk these things through to try and get guidance as well. So all of those are barriers. Like I said, I didn't have someone to go to. I didn't have someone encouraging me saying, hey, you're doing great. How about going and getting this degree? This is how we can help you. It doesn't mean that they wasn't willing to help. It just wasn't spoken about or said. So you didn't know, and you didn't necessarily know what to do. So you just didn't. You just sat. So definitely I think those are barriers that I foresee, but I don't want to believe that those are the only barriers. Everyone has unique situations. Hence the Delphi study, where we're asking all the registered nurses in the Cayman Islands that are practicing to tell us from their own words, what do they think it is? So round one of the study is give us at minimum of 5, you can give us more if you want, as to what you think are the barriers to career advancement. And then, because I don't want to assume how I'm going to fix it either, I don't have a magic globe in there that's going to tell me how to do it. Tell me what you think would be the solution to help you reach your goal. And then from there, then the second round of study will be, now these are all of what people have said. These are the top 20 kind of main ideas. Rate them. What do you think is definitely the main issue and the main solution, and what's the least? And then we'll look at it again, pull it back together. And then from those ones, we'll find out what we think are the top, and then we'll ask them to rate that top 5 of problems and top 5 solutions. And then we can take that and work on it as a key nursing stakeholder group of how do we address it. And then from within my role within the ministry, what do I need to look at encouraging? Maybe it's working with scholarship secretariat. Maybe it's just working with the different institutions, having meetings and saying, let's work on a care pathway that we agree on the island, that this is what we require for nurses to advance and skill up, that then everyone knows this is published, it's on the Nursing and Midwifery website that they could go to, they can see what it is, what a career pathway looks like, how do they encourage, what do they expect them to come back with for them to grant these different levels. So that's kind of why we're doing it. I'm super excited because it's never been done before. We've never had anyone ask the nurses, what do you want? What do you think? And yes, I know we could be asking so many more things about what we want. But this was a good place to start, because once you have the skill, and this is something my mother told me when I was younger, and I was thinking about dropping out of nursing school because it was so hard as a young mom. And she says, what you learn, no one can take from you.
Yeah.
So don't give up.
Yes.
So we want to skill them up, because what they learn, whether they stay here or whether they go and work somewhere else, no one can take it from them. They'll have it.
And the time will pass anyways. That's another one that I always say to people. The time will pass anyways.
Yep.
So might as well just get that done.
Yep. Do something with that time, because
Yeah.
it's going to go anyway. But what you have, they can't take back from you. So go for it.
So you said a little bit about it, but what do you hope are going to be the main or the key outcomes from this study that you would love to see happen?
I would love to see it, like I said, as a national kind of policy in our nursing and midwifery website, which is coming properly.
Okay, because I was going to say, what's this website? Because you did mention it. Okay.
So right now, if you wanted to become a nurse, and weirdly enough, people ask this question all the time. You want to become a nurse, or you want to move here to the Cayman Islands, what do I need to do to be able to work here? And so going through the government website and through the Department of Regulatory Services, which is where the councils sit, is where you'll find the information on what do you need to do to be licensed as a nurse here in the Cayman Islands. That is a website we're looking at building out in the future, where you can literally just Google Nursing Association Cayman Islands, Nursing Council in the Cayman Islands, and be able to find them, and that'll be there. And then they'll be able to know what they're doing and what it looks like. So that's a goal that I want to see happen in regards to career advancement. And then I also want to work with the schools, the nursing school here. Is there some courses we could offer here that people could actually do locally? Is that a possibility?
Like the nurse practitioner.
Exactly.
For example.
Exactly. So is that possible? Or even for our more basic nursing assistants that aren't nurses just yet, could they skill up on how to do tube feedings? Could they skill up on how to do things so that they're working their way up as well, and the care is getting better for our people in the Cayman Islands? So it's looking at working with them, working with scholarship secretariat. What do we do? Is there a possibility of offering stipend? Is there more of an incentive, or just getting more information on of how people then are able to apply for these courses and get the funding they would need? Are institutions and workplaces willing to work with people? So those are the things that we want to figure out. If those really are the barriers, how do we get to them, and then try to find the solutions so that career advancement would be more accessible to all in the Cayman Islands from nursing.
Do we have a lack of nurses, or nurses of a certain level, certain degree?
Well, I hear from all the hospitals a real worry about the rollover. So we don't have enough local Cayman nurses to staff our facilities, nowhere near it. So probably 90% of our nursing population, maybe 80, because we've got people who've worked here now and gotten their status. Maybe 80% that are expat workers here. But then once they get them in there and they know what they're doing and they're doing it well, then they roll over and they got to start from scratch again. It's really hard, especially in specialty stuff like OR nurses, emergency room nurses, even caregivers that aren't even nurses. That's one of the things we see happening. Once you develop that, you don't want to lose them. And so that is a problem that we don't have enough here. So we do need to import. But until we start to grow our nursing school a bit more, and we get people interested in going into nursing, so we can develop more nurses, then we're using a lot more expats to come in to do that. But then they don't want to lose them either. So
right.
it's a catch-22 situation. How do you solve it? I can't. We're working on it, but
we want to be able to open the doors for the next generation to know that this is a great career to get into. There's so many different levels, especially when it comes to salary wise.
Yes.
There's so many different options that you can be at, that you can work towards, right?
Exactly. And that's what we're hoping that we'll be able to share with them, so they'll see what those options are, how to go about obtaining it. And then, like I said, just raising the bar in that professional level. That, if no one knows the amazing things nurses do, or they don't recognize it until you're touched by it, then you don't even see that that's an interest that you could probably go into. So we've definitely got to do a lot more education to show our locals that this is an area that you could go into, because nursing is actually a huge profession for second degrees. There are a lot of older nurses that decide they didn't do it right out of school, but for some reason something changed in their life, and it's a profession that people tend to go into later.
Interesting. Yeah. It won't be me. I can tell you that. It won't be me.
It won't be you.
It's a very honorable, noble career, in my opinion. My mom was a nurse, so
yeah.
When I, having to tag along with her when I was a lot younger, I was like, this isn't for me. Hospitals are not for me. Although you don't have to be in a hospital, right?
You don't have to be in a hospital. Yeah,
so.
No. You have to be there for a little while. You have to go train there. Like, you've got to get that
Yeah.
basic training, but you don't have to stay there.
Maybe had I known about travel nurses, that would have been a totally...
Well, I think if you learned about the salary for travel nurses...
Yes, it could have been a different different career path for me.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the schools and the outreach to the high school students, are they curious? Is there any interest with them? Because I know still it happens. You're encouraged to go into certain professions, right?
I would say it's not enough.
Okay. How do we change that?
So one of my tasks as well. So I mean, for me personally, I'm hoping that we can have in the future an actual healthcare career. What's the word I'm looking for? Like a job fair, but a healthcare one, just for healthcare. Just so people can see, because while we talk about nurses today, training to be a lab technician is amazing and needed. Like we've got to have those things. Training to do an ultrasound or do radiology, needed, and make tons of money as well, because it's needed, and you specialize within there on how to do special like neonatal scans or special Dopplers. Each one of those is a skill up again within that area, but it makes up the healthcare system, and people tend to overlook them. But it's like overlooking being a carpenter, being a mechanic. They're not the top lawyer jobs that people tend to hear about, that are the first ones to be advertised. But there are ones that make tons of money that are key and crucial to an environment sustainability. So for healthcare, those ones really help make up what we need it to be. So we need it all around. We don't have a lot of K-9s that go into that either. The EMS service that support the care in that regards. And then obviously we've got our doctors, but that tends to be the one people tend to think of or know of.
Right.
And then the nursing, but then they think, oh, well, I've got to stay by a bedside. That's not really for me. And so they kind of put it out of their head. So hoping that we can do a job health fair in the future, where we can show our young people a bit more of the diversity within the medical field of what the possible options are. So having a travel nurse there, having nurses from the clinical department, what does that look like? You're a nurse, but this is what you do. What does that really look like? And then I would love to add it in with a bit of virtual reality. So I've been working on figuring out how we could do more of those, like a simulation kind of stuff, where then when they're there, they're not just sitting and talking to someone as well, but they could participate in some hands-on, because I'm a hands-on kind of person.
Yeah, a lot of us are.
Visual learner. So telling me that, this is what we're going to do and this is what it looks like. It's like, oh, another piece of paper and I got to,
right. Or I just got to watch something, but if, something that's more interactive in a sense.
Correct.
Right.
That's my goal. That's going to help make up my job fair. When it comes. Keep an eye out for it. It's going to come.
Do you hear anything from students as is about, okay, they're interested, but they don't know enough, or even from the teachers, I guess, in the schools, we suggestions on how we can get students more interested in this field?
I think it's just not talked about enough, truth be told. Back in the day, your school nurses, which we don't have school nurses at every school at this point in time, would go into the classes and they would talk about them. They'd see them. You'd see nurses on the ground at the school, and they'd do educational classes about hand washing, about hygiene, about these things. I don't think it happens enough right now, and so they're not really seeing it. So I don't think it's even talked about unless people come with their own knowledge ahead of time that they were interested in that. And even there, I know from the School of Nursing here, they were saying they're not been given all the right information of the courses to take at high school level. If they were really interested in that, they would help them along the way. So they get there and they struggle with some of the sciences because they didn't take the right sciences,
like biology or.
Exactly.
I wouldn't even have thought of that, actually.
Yeah.
In that sense. Okay. Good to know.
So we've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Long story short, we got a lot of work to do.
So tell us about the dates for the study, because I think
Right.
it's coming up for maybe the first round.
So yeah, the first round is opened. It's open now. So if you are a nurse, and if you happen to be a nurse or know a nurse and you're listening, please tell them they should have gotten an email from the Department of Regulatory Services that says this is the link. Outside of that, they can go to the Ministry of Health website and you can find it, or our social media page on Facebook, and you can find the link. Click the link. Just answer the questions. The round ends on February the 1st or the 2nd. I forgot.
I think the first is Saturday.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think it's,
okay.
yeah. So I think it ends on the 2nd then. I think it's on the Sunday.
Okay.
So it'll end then. And you want to get in there because if you haven't answered round 1, you're not eligible for round 2 and 3. Okay. So you need to be in there because that's the only way the data will be done properly, is to have people answer all 3 phases. And you won't have to give any information like who you are, whatever. You do have to enter a 6-digit identifier code. That way we know you did round 1, round 2, and round 3. That just makes it valid, but it's not going to be anything that's going to tell us who you are. So look out for that email. If you're at a loss, feel free to contact me in the Ministry of Health. I'll happily get the email to you with the link, or check out the social media page if you're a Facebook person, whatever is easiest for you. But we just want to really get the word out to these nurses. This is your opportunity to have your voice heard and as to what you think needs to happen in the Cayman Islands in regards to career development.
Okay, awesome. And I think it's just wonderful to have you who struggle with the career development part, didn't have that guidance per se, that you are trying to really just push this initiative and make it happen. I think it's a great thing. You're the right person to do it. So really happy to see this. The ministry is lucky to have you. Yes. Pay her more. You know, I was going to end with something like that. All right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Very appreciative to have you here. Everybody have a good short week. I'll be back with you on Thursday morning on the Business Buzz.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. And by JGP Janitorial, lose the mop, they'll clean the slop. JGP Janitorial, 548-1221.
This is the People's Radio Station.